goes. Welcome one, welcome all. Now, can we get an amen? How about a hallelujah? That's right, it's time for Show with No Name. Ready for liftoff? Let's go. 7, 6, 5. Come on. We can't count down fast enough here.
1, 0.
Here we go.
Ignition. Lift
All
off.
right.
Lift off.
There it is. Come on. Here we go. Here we go. Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. And get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time. On Vaughn Radio. Let's go. Welcome, Show With No Namers. Welcome. It is time for another exciting edition of the Show With No Name, your English extravaganza, where we make English exciting, unexpected, inesperado. Well, you never know what to expect. Yes, it's a scripted show, guionizado, but also sometimes I wing it. It's a mix of the two things. So even I don't know everything we're going to look at today. As we say in English, here's your first idiomatic expression of the day. Never a dull moment. ¿Te suena? La traducción sería, aquí no se aburre uno. Never a dull moment. Dull is aburrido, but dull is also a knife that doesn't cut. So never a dull moment. Aquí no se aburre uno. Today we're going to do a lot of interesting things. We're going to learn about history. We're going to learn English with music and movies. And as you know, the show is chock full of challenges. Repleto de retos. So welcome one, welcome all. It's a pleasure to have you with us on today's program. I hope you're feeling good and you're ready for our first challenge, our pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Come on. I don't care what day it is. I don't care what month it is. I don't even care what time it is. I know we came to kick some ass. Arrasar. In our pop quiz and beyond. ¿Te gustaría abrir puertas a nuevas oportunidades y estar listo para cualquier desafío? Con el máster de inglés del Grupo Vaughan podrás transformar tu futuro. Este programa intensivo te ayudará a dominar el inglés profesional, perfeccionar tu comunicación y ganar la confianza que necesitas para conseguir tus objetivos. Nuestros profesores Vaughan especializados te prepararán para afrontar en inglés todas las situaciones de comunicación en un entorno profesional. No dejes que el inglés sea una barrera. Invierte en tu futuro con el máster de inglés profesional del Grupo Vaughan. Llámanos al 91-133-5833 o entra en grupovaughan.com.
More information about our master's program, whether it's evening masters, part-time masters, or full-time masters, it is probably the most complete program we have. In fact, if you do the full-time, don't quote me on this, but at least in the past, and I'm sure it's still part of it, if you do the masters, there's a Vaughan Town included. Like, it's part of the program. Just to give you an idea of how thorough it is. Concienzudo, completo. So, if you want information about our master's program, about our one-to-one flex, about our group classes, even for classes with the kids on the weekends or camps, just drop us a line. And before you know it, I hate to jump the gun here, adelantarme, but the Christmas holiday will be here before you know it. What happened to September? Gone in a flash. What about October? Well, we're around the halfway point, El Ecuador. So what's next? November, and you know how the rest goes. So if you're thinking of getting the kids involved in something while they're off school, because we all know when the kids are off school, mommy and daddy aren't off. No estamos libres nosotros. So if you want to keep the kids busy with something productive, something that they'll thank you for the rest of their lives, then you can sign them up for any of our camps, our weekend. I mean, we've got everything. We've got urban camps. Urban camps are good for younger kids, you know, who aren't used to being without their parents for long periods of time. And then we've got the camps where you go away. It's more for older kids who are not just used to being without their parents, but they're at an age where they don't want to do things with their parents. They want to do things with other friends. They want to bond. And what better way to do that than learning English? I mean, that's what brought us together here. You know, languages bring people together. The other day, I was in a taxi with my wife and my daughter. And after a really pleasant conversation, shout out to Manuel, un saludo a Manuel. That was his name, from Cuba. And after a very pleasant conversation about culture, about languages, his son's living in Miami, I got out of the car and he said, are you Alberto? Are you from Vaughan? You're my English teacher. I'm like, yeah, I am. So a shout out to Manuel. Before he even realized I was his English teacher, we hit it off. Hicimos buenas migas. So folks, if you want more information about any of our courses, go to grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. All right, now today's pop quiz, we're going to be learning something from one of my books. Remember, I have 5. I've worked on maybe 40 or 50 that you'll hear my voice in, but that I've actually penned, que vimos esa palabra la semana pasada, que yo he escrito. That's 5 books, English everywhere. This book is the Milk. This book is the Remilk, which has now been renamed. This book is the Milk 2. T-O-O, pero es la segunda también. And then you've got English Everywhere, which is a book for you people with itchy feet. Yeah, that's right. The people who have athlete's foot. No, I'm kidding. Itchy feet es tienes ganas de moverte. It's a book about exploring and learning as we travel and discover different cities. And then my latest book, which is called This Book is the Shit. So you can pick up all 5 of those or just one of them, however many. Some of you probably have all 5 of them. You have the Alberto Alonso collection. And so thank you. Thank you if that's you. And if not, well, what are you waiting for? They're great books to have in the toilet. What? Wait. What the fuck? In the toilet? Yeah. I mean, what are you doing normally when you're on the throne? you're, looking at things on Instagram. That's not very productive. Well, what if you're learning an idiomatic expression or, an interesting phrasal verb, or you're learning English through a little tidbit of information, una pizca, una píldora de información. So it's the perfect book, any of my books, because they just have little, you call them píldoras, we call them bites, mordiscos, and that's perfect. So every time you go to the bathroom, you can learn something new in English. All right, this book is The Milk 2. As always, listen carefully, because I will have a challenge for you afterwards. Always look on the bright side of life.
You're always in such a good mood, huh?
Hey, man, I try and keep a positive outlook.
Outlook. Yeah, I like that word. That's what appears on my mail.
Yeah, that's right. Microsoft Outlook. And no se dice Microsoft, we say Microsoft.
And it's software,
Yeah.
microscopic.
Yeah, and it's a perspectiva. From context, I think everybody could see. I like to keep a positive outlook.
Una buena perspectiva. Yeah, positive outlook. Nice. Let's keep talking about computers.
Well, you can learn
and it's
so
funny
much.
how you say computer and we say ordenador, because for us, it's something that ordena
Right.
cosas to put it in order, right?
Right.
But for you, it computes. It's
Well,
like mathematical.
Have you seen my desktop? There's nothing ordered about it.
Not at all. Desktop, nice word too.
Desktop es porque va encima de tu mesa. Tu mesa de
Yeah.
trabajo es your desk. Y el que va encima de tus piernas,
Oh, laptop.
lap. ¿Y qué es lap? Eso significa algo.
El regazo, we say.
I always think of Italians. Ragazzo.
El ragazzo. El regazo es donde pones a los ragazzi, desde luego. Te coges al niño y te lo pones encima de las piernas. El ragazzo.
Whoa, that's it reminded me of Santa. When you're a kid, you sit on Santa's lap.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, very cool.
Yeah, so let's talk about more words related to computers. For example, web. Web, it's easy.
Oh,
Right?
man.
Like a spider web.
The web, sure. A
La red.
network, otra forma de decir esto. A network.
Yeah.
Que también en inglés, network is a verb. To network es conocer gente, mezclar, to mingle, to network. Very important. You know it, working in television and stuff. Networking is important.
Networking is very important.
Going to parties, chatting with people, being social.
Yeah. What about the word banner?
Banner. Bruce Banner?
Like Bruce Banner. I hate banners when they pop up.
Oh, those damn pop-ups.
Uf, yeah. Son, ¿cómo diría? Son carteles, ¿no?
Yeah, well, it's a pancarta.
Pancarta, yeah.
Yeah, a banner, which, of course, on the internet, it's estas cosas pesadas que nos suben, ¿no? Que siempre they pop up, como acabas de decir.
Yeah, aparecen, te saltan, ¿no? Pop,
They pop up. Y también surge, si usamos esto, oh, do you know your name popped up in a conversation yesterday?
Yeah.
Surgió. Se puede decir came up, pero evidentemente el popped up te da un poco más de...
Sí,
que no
de repente.
Se esperaba. Right?
Exactly.
It was all of a sudden. Esto se usa muchísimo, de repente.
All of a sudden.
All of a sudden. All of a sudden. Yo lo digo 1000 veces al día.
More than suddenly, right?
Right. Yeah. For some reason, I guess it rolls off my tongue a little bit easier. And there are so many apps as well that we can learn from. I mean, just look, I'm looking at my computer right now, and I have iTunes, las canciones de internet.
Yeah.
iTunes.
Some tunes. I like this tune. You can say it that way.
I would say it. Oh man, great tune.
Great tune.
Turn it up.
Yeah.
Also, to tune, it's another word, the musical word is, let me tell you, and you tell me in context, Damian. I have to tune my piano.
Ya, tengo que afinar mi piano. Yeah.
Because it's out of tune.
Está desafinada.
So see how we play with words? Tenemos que jugar.
Yeah.
Porque al final, y mira luego los Tiny Toon Adventures. Toon ahí es de cartoon, pero tune también porque hacían canciones, los Looney Tunes.
Melodías locas.
O sea, que siempre estamos jugando, nos creemos muy listos. We think we're, smart, and we always like playing with names.
Yeah. I have all those songs on iCloud.
Oh, yeah. La nube now, the cloud.
Yeah, the cloud.
I think of candy. Yo sigo pensando en marshmallows, esas nubes.
And those, you call it marshmallows, not clouds, do you?
No, we don't call
Yeah.
them clouds, but having a sweet tooth, this is the first thing that popped
Mhm.
into my mind. Oh, and one more thing. When we're talking about computers, I've had students say, I work in informatics.
Ooh, no.
And I said, I
No.
don't know what that is. I know what informatica is. What do
Yeah.
we say that in English?
IT, right?
Yeah, I work in IT.
In IT.
And another really
What
interesting
does it stand for?
information technology.
Information technology. IT.
Right.
There's the show IT Crowd.
The IT crowd, right?
Yeah, I love it. It's a nice one.
Que no es lo mismo ser parte del IT crowd, right?
Yeah.
The IT crowd, el grupo de moda. The
Ah.
IT crowd, se escribe igual, es
Ah,
como
so
lo
it's a pun.
pronuncias. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, the IT Crowd.
The IT crowd es los Paris Hilton, bueno, en mi día.
Los
you
que
know,
molan.
Los que molan, los guays, you
Ah,
know, the
okay.
IT crowd. And what I was going to bring up before we get going, antes de marcharnos, there's so many words that have changed meaning. Like when I was a kid, tweet was something a bird did.
Yeah.
And to post was send something in the mail.
Mhm.
And, you know, so all of these words, your wall was the thing in your house that held up the roof.
But
you know?
everything has changed.
So it's interesting how words change as well.
¿Conoces Weekend Town? La nueva iniciativa de Vaughan.
Pues no.
Es un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés. Y es nuevísimo.
A ver, cuéntame más.
Tendrás una inmersión lingüística total durante 2 días. Un total de 24 horas hablando con angloparlantes de todo el mundo.
¡Wow! ¡Qué interesante!
Ganarás confianza y soltura a la hora de comunicarte en inglés. Mejorarás tu comprensión auditiva y tus habilidades conversacionales en una situación de comunicación real en inglés. Ven a Weekend Town y te sorprenderás con todo lo que puede avanzar tu inglés en un fin de semana. Weekend Town de Vaughan. Un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés.
More information about Weekend Town, Vaughan Town, and anything you might want to know, you can find it at grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. And make sure you're following us on social media. And if you are in Valencia or another place where you can't tune us in on the radio, don't worry. If you've got the Vaughan Radio app, you'll always have access to your favorite programs. All right, let's see. We've got a lot of show with no namers joining us here. By the way, before I forget, this week's question of the week. Well, first, that's for everybody who participated last week and the week before and the week before. This week's question, we're getting ready for Halloween around here. So tell us the scariest thing that's ever happened to you. The scariest thing that's ever happened to you. Okay? Now, the only thing is I'm a little bit nervous that maybe something really scary has happened to you, and then it might be too much for the program. So use your discretion. Because, we don't want any confessions or anything. Like, you get what I'm saying here. Like, don't tell us, oh, my father abused me, all that, like wrong place, I think. So scary, maybe where someone scared you or you thought something happened or a close call. Those are scary. Uy, casi me cae. Hombre. So just use your discretion there, because I'm sure people could say, well, one time this guy at a party, I'm sure you could tell us some scary stuff. So just remember, we do have young people who listen to the show. So, use your discretion there. The scariest thing that has ever happened to you. Tell us what it is. You can leave us a 1-minute voice message. Remember, not 2 minutes, 1 minute. Minute and 20, fine. Minute 30, now we're going towards 2 minutes, right? And the reason I say it is, well, you should be able to give me that answer in about a minute, right? And it should give you time to introduce yourself as well. All right. So this is this week's question of the week, the scariest thing that's ever happened to you. And be careful with that word, because I had a student once tell me, Alberto, I'm scary. And I said, estoy de acuerdo, Carmen. Das mucho miedo. She meant to say I'm scared. Acuérdate esto, si os gustan las películas. The movie's called Scary Movie, porque da miedo. So if you watch Scary Movie, you'll be scared. Bueno, it's a parody, but maybe it'll help you not mix up scared and scary, because I've heard it before. Not to be confused with scaredy, que lo usamos con cat, right? Scare. Oh, are you a scaredy cat? It's another way of saying a chicken, right? Y el verbo is to chicken out, rajarse. Oh, man, are you going to chicken out at the last minute? Vamos, por el contexto, yo diría en español, ¿te vas a rajar? Are you going to chicken out? ¿Te vas a echar para atrás? So let's see what totally native idiomatic expressions we can get from today's pop quiz. The first one, this is something I've said many times. Okay? When something is easy to say, okay, you say, es fácil de pronunciar o decir. We have an idiomatic expression, something that has to do with the part of your mouth, sin decirte demasiado. And I know it's an expression that I've used before. I'm sure of it. Okay, so esto es fácil de decir, fácil de pronunciar. Okay? Do you remember it? Algo con la boca, alguna parte de la boca. Esto es, and give us an example. ¿Qué es algo para ti que lo dices con facilidad? No te cuesta nada. And now for the next one, esta no la dije, pero la quiero enseñar. And this is algo que es un palabro, trabalenguas, something that's difficult to pronounce or to say. Whoa. Interesting one, huh? Did you know it? Do you know it? We'll find out in a little bit. So we're looking at opposites in the first two. Eso es fácil de decir. Esto no lo puedo decir. Vamos, imposible decir. So we're looking at two totally native ways to say that. Something's really easy to say and something's not easy to say. And the third one is one that came to mind that we looked at last week, if I'm not mistaken. And it came to mind because of the song, Always Look on the Bright Side of Life. Doo-doo. Right? What I was singing in the beginning of that audio. Well, the expression in Spanish, let's see, a ver como yo siempre lo veo traducido igual, pero vamos a ver si por alguna razón lo traducen. No hay mal que por bien no venga. Ya, ahí está. Esa es la... Bueno, después de una tormenta siempre sale el sol. Quiere decir que de todo lo malo se puede sacar algo bueno, right? Que no hay una cosa mala que no nos puede dar algo bueno a la inversa, ¿no? A la vez. So, these are three very native expressions today that we're looking at. The first one is telling me something is muy fácil de decir. Eso lo digo con facilidad. Number two, el inverso de eso. Wow, eso es imposible. You say palabro. I like that one. Palabro. Trabalenguas, que no se dice con facilidad. Eso es un trabalenguas. All right. And the last one, no hay mal que por bien no venga, which I guess if we had to put it into other words, in English words, it's even in the darkest situations, we can find a light, una luz en la oscuridad. All right, my amigos, those are your challenges for our pop quiz. Right now, we've got to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to listen to our Say What soundbite. We'll take a look at our pop quiz answers. We've got our spelling bee as well. So much to do on this amazing morning where we are lucky to be together, healthy, feeling good, and sharing this time. Folks, if I were you, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. It is time for part 2 of today's show with no name. Don't forget, folks, you got a brand new episode of FYI. Came out last Friday on the verb come. Yeah. Very, very rich word. To come by. To come across, come over, to come down with something. Ponerse malito, to come down with something. So, amigos, if you want to learn about one of the essential verbs, you can do it every week in Season 7 of FYI. We're taking a look at the most common verbs and all their uses, so you really get to know them. So, last week we looked at come. The week before we looked at the verb to take. Lots of idiomatic expressions between those two. And this week, let me check it. I think it's... mira, acabo de usarlo. Sin querer. I think it's think. That's right. We're going to think it through, pensarlo bien, think it over, darle vueltas, tiene sentido, ¿no? So you can subscribe or follow. They don't use the word subscribe anymore because people think you have to pay. Podcasts are free. So you can follow FYI wherever you get your Vaughn podcasts, iVox, Apple Podcasts, and all that jazz. All right, amigos. Are you ready? It's time for today's Say What soundbite. Say what? Say what soundbite? All right. Now, if you recall, last week, I told you we were talking about wars. We were talking about the military. We were talking about guns and battles, right? And then we were saying that usually, this is my opinion, we weren't saying it, I was saying it, that all wars are for the same reason. Money, right? It's a business. I don't give a shit about your sovereignty. I don't care about your democracy, whatever that means. Whatever that concept means these days. So, as you know, as a self-proclaimed hippie, un hippie autodenominado, I hate war. I hate everything around it. And I think it's a way to make rich people richer and poor people poorer. Well, if you're using your blood, right, you're poorer if you lose your children, right? Fighting a war that you could really, honestly, in your day-to-day, care less about. So, but I wasn't the only one, and definitely not the only one, who sees that the war machine is a business. And I think this guy was the first one, the first, like, really public person, extremely public person, to declare that it was a scam, una estafa. The whole thing. It was just, okay, well, if we're constantly in perpetual war, then we'll constantly be filling our coffers. Coffers. Las arcas? Lidia? Coffers. El cofre. Mira. Arca. Yeah, las arcas. Did you know that word? Our coffers. So, all right. Well, I think it's going to be pretty easy to follow. I mean, this is a really famous speech in history. And that's another thing you can do, too. I know a lot of you listen to podcasts, audiobooks, but another thing, too, documentaries are excellent because you're learning English while you learn about other things. But also historical speeches are really cool because you're getting a glimpse of a moment in history and you're learning English from, JFK, for example. Now, today it's not JFK, but wow, a very powerful individual who at one point had the same role as JFK. So obviously it's a former U.S. president. And, well, I won't give you any more. Let's see what you guys can extract from today's Say What soundbite. Here it is for the first time.
We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes. We should take nothing for granted.
All right. Wow. Good speaker, right? Guy could even be president maybe one day. All right. I already told you that information anyway. Doesn't matter who it is. The important thing is, if you can sum it up, you can sum up in your own words what the person is saying, and hopefully after the fourth listen, be able to get it down pat, no? A la perfección. So here it is. I'm going to give it to you for the second time, and then we're going to check your pop quiz answers. All right. Is everybody ready? Pay attention.
We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes. We should take nothing for granted.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend Because I've already got plans.
Mm.
Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mhm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8 y como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que ha sido a gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damián, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
vaughantienda.com.
It's the Shit.
That's right, folks. This book is the shit. Available at Von Tienda or wherever fine books are sold. And if you're looking for courses, that's grupovon.com/cursos destacados. Materials, vontienda.com. A little bit of both. Follow us on social media. A little bit of both. Subscribe to our newsletter. And then you'll know as well, we have a new book. Just came out, 365 días de inglés. And I think you can figure out what it's about. Learning a little something every day. All right. Now, we've got a lot of stuff that we're doing here today. I've got some students joining me here in our virtual classroom. Let's see who's with us. Born to Iron Man. There he is. He says, morning, Alberto and friends. Morning to you, Born to Iron Man. Hope you're doing well. There's Laura Prados. What's up? She says, morning, ready to rock. Awesome, Laura. I don't doubt it for a second. There's lovely Laura. And she says, good morning, lovely show with no namers and teacher. Rise and shine. Definitely. Gotta make the most of this day. Gotta make the most of this week ahead, folks. I love it. You guys are definitely positive, and that rubs off on me. To rub off on. ¿Tener efecto? To rub, como frotar. To rub off on. Esto es interesante porque tiene dos preposiciones ahí, so apúntalo. He's starting to rub off on me. Tener efecto, influir, ¿no? So, great phrasal verb there. All right, there's Chris Valrol rocking and rolling. What's up, Chris Valrol? She says, morning, dear show with no namers. Good morning to you, Chris. It's great to have you with us. Let's see. Laura is participating in our pop quiz. Let's see. The first one, she says, the word hello just rolls off the tongue. Yes. Right? Como sin esfuerzo. It just rolls off the tongue. It means it's easy to pronounce, right? The word onomatopoeia. No, well, eso es un mal ejemplo. The word book. No, no cuesta nada. Book, right? The word sea, el mar. It just rolls off your tongue. You don't really have to think about it. So, to roll off the tongue. Great job, Laura. Let's see the next one. She says, she sells seashells by the seashore is a popular tongue twister. Great. It wasn't the one I was looking for, but un trabalenguas is a tongue twister. ¿Os digo otra forma de decirlo? Bueno, vamos a ver porque tenemos más personas, pero also, you can say that was a tongue twister, as Laura said, or cuando decimos algo que apenas como, wow, me ha salido, pero no sé cómo, say that 5 times fast. La expresión es 10 o 5 veces rápido. A ver si te sale, right? So, another way of saying, what a tongue twister, is say that 5 times fast. Que no te va a salir decirlo 5 veces seguidos rápido. So, great tongue twister, say that 5 times fast. There's another one I'm looking for too. We'll see if anybody knows it, but I'll give it to you if not. And it's great. It's a wonderful tongue twister. It's a classic, Laura. All right, and the last one, she says, every cloud has a silver lining. Absolutely. And she says, so let's try to look at the bright side. Lo único, cambiaría la preposición, porque es on this side. So to look on the bright side. To look at es fijarte, no mirar, pero esto es como mira hacia. So it's a little bit different, como es frase hecha. Y la canción, always look on the bright side of life. So excellent job, Laura. I expect nothing less from you. Excellent. Chris Valrol says, easy rolls off the tongue well. No necesitas ni el well, que significa que sale con facilidad. Y la palabra easy. Easy. Bueno, no tanto. Hay algunos que les cuesta, Chris, ese zzz, right? They say easy. I'm like, it's not, no es una S. So, yeah, maybe for you. it's easy. But some people have difficulty with that. You know, like peace, la paz, and peas, guisantes, right? Peace, peas. No son homófonos, porque peace suena como S, and peas, P-E-A-S, guisantes, sounds like more of a Z sound. But great, to roll off the tongue. The second one, that word is a tongue twister. Great. No sé si alguien tiene el otro. Bueno, os lo doy sin problema. And then the next one, she says, come on, my friend. Every cloud has a silver lining. I'm here for you. Great. Wonderful job. Every cloud has a silver lining. Okay, we also say something is a blessing in disguise, que está relacionado con este tema. Oh man, this rain is a blessing in disguise, que parece al principio que es algo que no, pero es una bendición oculta. No, al final nos viene bien, is what we're saying here. So a blessing in disguise is another way of saying every cloud has a silver lining. Siempre hay algo que se puede sacar de cualquier situación. All right, anybody else in our pop quiz? Going once, going twice. All right, well, the second one that I had was if we say something is a mouthful. A mouthful. Wow, that was a mouthful. Una boca llena, ¿no? Un bocado, un trago, o sea, que no te caben más. Piénsalo así. Te has llenado la boca de palabras. That was a mouthful, right? Que es un poco diferente, ojo. Okay? So, it's very different to say that was or something is a mouthful que la expresión cerrada y hecha, you said a mouthful. You said a mouthful is verdades como puños. I think I would translate it. No? You're expressing the fact that you agree with it. Gran verdad. Verdad como un templo, you say too. So si alguien, like what I said about the military, this isn't about defending, I mean, who's coming to attack your territory, right? And personally, right? So a lot of people say, oh man, you said a mouthful. You said a mouthful is vaya gran verdad, vaya verdad como un templo, verdades como puños. Pero no lo confundamos con that was. So to be a mouthful and you said a mouthful, okay? Y la palabra full, mouthful ahí, no es full dos L's. Como terminación, como wonderful, es una L, okay? Aunque viene a decir La boca llena. Did you guys know that one? Well, excellent job to Chris Valrol and Laura. Wonderful job. We got a lot of students on board, but only 2 participating. Interesting. Well, we know who our super show with no namers are. They prove it every single day. Let's see what the ladies had to say about our Say What soundbite. Chris says, I heard a well-spoken American man. Great vocabulary. Well-spoken, bien hablado, ¿no? Que se dice bien hablado, me lo acabo de inventar. No, que sabe expresarse. A well-spoken American man who may be a politician, confirmed, ex-president, former president. He speaks about the military industry, potential disaster, democratic processes, and ends saying that we shouldn't take anything for granted. Great ear, Chris. Absolutely. You are on the right track. Vas por buen camino ahí. Let's see what Laura had to say. Laura says, I heard an American former president. Absolutely. Addressing the nation. Buen palabrón ahí. Addressing. Dirigiéndose a. Because that's what presidents do. They don't talk to the nation. They address the nation. So great. Perfect vocabulary for this context here. So great, Laura. So he's addressing the nation and impelling the people to not let the military-industrial complex endanger the country's liberty and democratic process. Wow, ladies. Wow, you got it. So now you're just a step or 2 away from getting it word for word. Excellent job, Chris and Laura. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. And reviewing the idiomatic expressions we just looked at, if something rolls off your tongue, y también se puede usar a la inversa, ojo, it doesn't really roll off your tongue. So se puede decir it rolls off your tongue, or it doesn't. Que es, entonces sería una tercera forma de expresar lo segundo. So you can say, it's a mouthful, it's a tongue twister, or it doesn't roll off your tongue. So, es 3 formas de decir, no es fácil de decir eso. Sin embargo, it rolls off your tongue. Creo que ahí solo no se me ocurre otro así en plan nativo. And the other ones, we said every cloud has a silver lining. Also, we talk about a blessing in disguise. So there you go, my amigos. Those are your pop quiz answers. And before our next commercial break, let's check out today's homophones. Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, because homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. 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 Show with no name. That's right, amigos. It's homophones here on the show with no name, and I'm going to give you 2 words. I'm sure you're familiar with the first one. I have my doubts about the second one, but we'll see. By the end of the section, you'll know both of these words inside and out. You'll know how to pronounce them, and we'll see. Let's see. The first word is something that is morally wrong, a moral wrong. So you say vicio, right? When someone's smoking, they say, ay, el vicio, right? So it's a bad or sinful habit, sinful, de pecador. Hallelujah, 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 También cuando lo decimos como unidad policial, es la Brigada Antidrogas, Antivicio. Hay una serie muy famosa que ocurre en Miami, la Brigada Antidrogas de Miami. Anybody remember Don Johnson? All right, well, I'm trying to help you here. Okay, so that is the first one. Okay, so vicio, vamos, es la palabra vicio. Okay, también, a ver, también es vicepresidente. So if you say vice, that's that word too. Okay, and the second word is, a ver, you say tornillo de banco. Ah, no sabía esto. Tornillo de banco. I didn't see, I'm learning this in Spanish. So yo no me lo sabía en español. It's this thing, si tienes que sujetar algo, you know, if you got to hold something in place, pues you tighten it, lo apretas y sujeta algo. Tornillo de banco. También es el verbo. There's a famous scene. Have you seen the movie Casino? Hay una escena súper famosa donde mete la cabeza de un señor en un tornillo de banco. Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart. No es apto para cardíacos, amigos. All right. Well, those are your two words. The first one, vicio. The second one, tornillo de banco, something you can find in a workshop. We'll take a look at that when we come back. Plus, we've got our Say What soundbite for the third time. We've also got Spelling Bee. We've got Name That Movie, Name That Lyric, Famous Birthdays, and so much more. So, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the second half of today's show. I can't believe it. The first hour just flew by. I don't know about for you guys, but wow. And if you notice, this week, who's 100% better? Me! Man, last week was tough. Más difícil que lo normal. Well, even if I was sick, I didn't have a fever, but I just didn't have all my energy. And obviously, when you work with your voice and you can't really use it to its full potential, it's frustrating. And it can be counterproductive in the end. Luego te lo destrozas para más tiempo si esfuerzas. But I'm back, baby. I am back. As we say in English, you can't keep a good man down. A un hombre fuerte, bueno, no le frenas. Right? Cuando nos pasan cosas difíciles, you can't keep a good man down. Yo sigo poniéndome de pie. I imagine you can use it with women, too. You can't keep a good woman down. Same thing. Alguien que es bueno, alguien que es fuerte, alguien que no les detienes, no les paras, A lo mejor se caen, pero se levantan. They get back up. Because I get knocked down. But I get up again, 'cause you're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again, 'cause you're never gonna keep me down. Don't cry for me. Great song, and lots of phrasal verbs in it. All right, amigos, are you ready? I'm going to give you the Say What soundbite now, and then we'll check your answers. I've got some students participating in our homophone section. But first, our Say What soundbite. This is the third listen of the Say What soundbite. Let's see if you guys can get it.
We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes. We should take nothing for granted.
¿Quieres estar al tanto de todas nuestras promociones en la Vaughan Esfera? Well, now you can be in the loop. Puedes estar al tanto. Puedes enterarte de ofertas, novedades y eventos. Y mucho más. Puedes encontrar todo eso en grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. Eso es, en grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. Ahí tendrás toda la información de última hora. Guárdalo como favorito. grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. And stay in the loop.
That's right, amigos. grupovaughn.com/cursos destacados. If you guys have not, if you haven't checked out one of our courses, you would love it. I'm sure some of you who are listening right now have not just been radio listeners, but you've done some of our, or at least one or two of our courses. So, I mean, you're the ones who know, the ones who have taken our courses, who have been with us, that, okay, Kyle, myself, all your teachers are, we're the ones you see every day. We're your teachers. But at Vaughan, there are 200 more, maybe more than that. I need to talk to Fitz and find out that number, but there are another 250, 300 amazing teachers just like me, just like Fitz, just like Kyle, and you have them available. Well, of course, if you sign up, not just say, come to my house now. It doesn't work like that. But if you're interested, of course, you can get private classes. It all depends on your time restraints, right? And also it depends on your budget, tu presupuesto. So, but we've got something. The good news is we've got something for every level, for every budget, folks. So just go to grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. And if you're not interested in taking courses at the moment, consider it in the future. But in the meantime, you can take a look at our very, very useful materials. I prefer to call them resources over at vaughantienda.com. And folks, if you do all that, you listen to Vaughan Radio, you take a course, you have some books, and you're not improving your English, I don't know what to tell you. But I know that that's not the case. I know just getting motivated, just getting organized goes a long way. Da para mucho. And we all know that. All right, so we just heard our Say What soundbite. Oh, let's take a look at our homophones. Let's see. Chris says, of course we remember that series in Miami. Oh, yeah, that was really popular. Well, just in case there's some younger, because I imagine younger people from like maybe millennials might not know it, but, people our age. But, well, I assume there are people of all different ages listening to the program, but definitely our generation, Chris, no doubt about it. I mean, we grew up with that shit. Y digo shit con todo el respeto del mundo. Esa mierda, esa buena mierda. All right. Born to Iron Man. Those are the two words, sir. And he says they sound alike. Interesting. Laura gives us the two words, and she says they sound alike. Chris Valrol gives us the two words as well, and she agrees. So that's the Holy Trinity there. The Holy Trinity is telling me, yay, these words sound the same. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. All right, well, what if I were to tell you, and I just found this out moments ago, that the British spelling of the second word is spelt exactly like the first word. Ahí te lo dice todo. O sea, que la primera palabra es vice vice president, Miami Vice. Acuérdate, si lo ponemos en plural, cambia, tiene dos sílabas. He has a lot of vices. Vices. Vices, right? So that word, V-I-C-E, vicepresidente, vice president, vice. It sounds like advice. Can you give me some advice for the vice president? Okay. No advise, no el verbo, porque ese ya es zzz. Estábamos hablando de ese zzz y esa C. Esa C. So, vamos a darte todas. I'm going to advise the vice president. Give him advice. Sustantivos sí que son homófonos. Now, the second word is vice. Pero, ¿cómo? Entonces, ¿por qué se escribe V-I-S-E en vez de V-I-C-E? Well, us Americans, we decided when we took the word across the pond, por el charco, we decided that, well, maybe these two words wouldn't have to be spelled the same, even though they are homophones, 100%. So it doesn't matter how you spell it, whether you spell it like the British, igual, V-I-C-E, or whether you spell it like us, it's pronounced vice, not vise. So there you go. Wow, excellent job. And something I really love this. You all put the American spelling. So nice job, and you all got it right. Let's see. Chris says you were a little bit under the weather. That's right. I was under the weather last week, but life goes on. See, it's different. When you're under the weather and you're like, well, I'll rest for 2 days. What does that mean? So, you know, when you're under the weather and you can rest, it's great. But when you're under the weather and life goes on, well, sometimes you're just like, oh, man, when is it time to go to bed? And then she says, but now that is water under the bridge. Agua pasada. Wait a second. Well, yeah, until my daughter brings home some more germs from school and it's round and round we go. De hecho, aprendí la palabra en español, caldo de cultivo. Does anybody know how to say that word in English? La clase de mi hija es caldo de cultivo. Vamos, que ahí, cuidado con los bichos. It's normal. That's how kids get strong. That's how they develop their immune system, by learning to fight things. So it's absolutely normal. But mommy and daddy always get the side effects, los efectos colaterales. That's the way that works. So take your vitamins, do your exercise, do your sauna, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that when your kid brings home germs, which they will every day, well, maybe they won't attack you. You know, you'll be strong enough to fight them off. That's why I drink so much water. I'm just trying to keep those germs from coming into my system, because they're in my home. Because, well, a lot of times when I go pick my daughter up, I've said this before and it's quite gross, but why not? When I've gone to pick up my daughter, like I see, hey, Lara's daddy, Papa de Lara, and I just see green snot coming out of the kid's nose. And the kid was just playing with my daughter. Green snot. Yeah, that means you're sick. When it's green, it means you're sick, right? Green snot is not healthy snot. Clear snot is healthy snot, right? Acuérdate esto, mira las cosas que te enseño. Snot is moco líquido, snot. And moco duro is booger. De hecho, es el apodo de mi hija. I call her Bugs. ¿Lo sabíais? I call her Boogie, Boogers, Bugs. Realmente Boogers no tanto, porque lo corto. Entonces digo Boogies or Bugs. Well, until she learned how to blow her nose. Padres, por favor, sabéis, the turning point in a child's life is not when they stop breastfeeding, cuando dejan la teta, not when they are potty trained, saben ir al baño, but when they know how to blow their nose. Seriously, it seems we take it for granted, right? Lo damos por sentado, lo de sacarte los mocos. But a kid, until they know that you got to go and get it all out, it gets stuck in them. Like, oh, I remember saying, oh, when this kid learns And now my daughter's a pro. She's a pro. My wife doesn't think it's so funny, but, well, what is she a pro at? ¿Qué es lo que domina? Snot rockets. What are those? You don't know what a snot rocket is? Have you ever watched a soccer match? Seguro que muchos sí, ¿no? España ha jugado finales y cosas. You know when the players cover one nostril, tapan un orificio de la nariz, and they go, and they shoot it out? O sea, cohete de moco, snot rocket. Now, I get what you're saying, wifey. Mi mujer dice, that is absolutely disgusting. But also, my daughter and I aren't walking around the streets or at a restaurant and at a cafeteria doing snot rockets. But, you know, when you're in the shower, when you got snot rockets are awesome. Why do you think soccer players do them? Because it gets the snot out. So will somebody please explain that to my wife? It's not that we want to be gross, but there is no better way to get, if you're stuffed up, constipado, well, there's no better way than a good old snot rocket. A good old es de toda la vida. A good old, no es que es viejo, pero es el de toda la vida. The good old, classic, quintessential snot rocket. Did you think we were going to be talking about snot and boogers today? Neither did I. All right, well, maybe that means it's time to change gears. Let's move on to our spelling bee.
Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee.
That's right, folks. That's right. Welcome to our spelling bee. That's right. Here's probably the most challenging section on the show every day because, well, some of them vary. The double trouble depends. Homophones depends. This one's always tough. Okay, might be a little bit shorter, but it is really, really challenging nonetheless. So do what you can. If you can get 5, get 5. Just remember, you have 2 rounds. So if you don't get them on the first round, don't worry. That's, use that second round. Because the first one, well, you better hold on tight. Buckle up. Ponte el cinturón. Because here we go with round 1. Let's capitalize the first letter of every word. Okay? The first letter of every word for the sake of simplicity. The first word is Louis space LE space PRINCE. The second one is 1 ST space MOTION space PICTURE. The third one is ROUN DHAY space GARDEN space SCENE. The fourth one is OAKWOOD space GRANGE. The fifth one is LEEDS. And the sixth one is NORTHERN space ENGLAND. Do you know about Vaughn groups? Well, I'm going to tell you all about them. They are group English classes that you can do via video conference or in person. And the good news is you can start whenever you want. And you can keep the same timetable, teacher, and classmates throughout the whole course. And the best part, there's no strings attached. Sin compromiso. And if you act now, you can get a 5% discount for paying up front. And if you stick with the course for 6 months, you'll get a 50% discount in June. Wow, what a deal!
As if you needed more reasons to learn English with Vaughn. Check out our Vaughn groups. Have fun and make friends as you learn English. Sign up now while there are still spots available. Call us 911-385831, or you can go to our website, grupovaughn.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media and find out if Vaughn groups are for you. Oh, by the way, Vaughn groups, that is one of the funnest things. I mean, I've taught on a lot of different programs. Okay, I've done residentials, I did in company, but I've got to tell you something. These were awesome because it's just, I mean, it's great because you don't only learn English with a group of people that are your level, because that's very important, obviously. But also, you make friends for life. I can tell you, every single course that I did, I remember at the end, people getting quite emotional, melodramatic even, like, I can't believe it. We got to stick together forever. We're never going to lose contact, seriously. And I'm not talking about Vaughan Town, where they live, breathe, eat, and sleep together. I'm just talking about where you come for 4 hours a day, you have class, but what happens? The magic that happens in that 4 hours, the fact that you're watching each other grow and learn, that creates a bond. Think about you here on the show every day. The way you support each other, and you're always cheering each other on, animando uno al otro. It's beautiful, really. It's absolutely beautiful. All right, let's see. Born to Iron Man, I think your caps lock got stuck over there. Sit there. All right. I'm not going to scream because I'll lose my voice, but Born to Iron Man is screaming at us. All right, let's see. Born to Iron Man. He's like, I even had time to put it in lowercase. Wow, Born to Iron Man. I like it. All right, I'll look at the second one. Let's see. The first one is correct. The second one, you put an extra space in there, but it's okay. It's a technicality, but I didn't say space. But it's okay. All right, we'll give it to you, man. Yeah, between the number and the ST, I didn't put a space. Let's see. The third one is correct. The fourth one is correct. And the fifth one. Nice job. Excellent job over there. Born to Iron Man. You nailed it. You nailed it, buddy. Just a little technicality there with the ST, because that is the symbol for first. So normalmente es la uno con la ST pegado. But wow, it's a let's see. Chris Valrol. Let's see, Chris. The first one is correct. The second one as well. The third one too. The fourth. Wow. Wow. Impressive. What can I say? Great job. Born to Iron Man and Chris Valrol knocking it out of the park. All right. This is round 2. This is the round where I'm that nice guy. Ese tío majo. All right. The first one is LOUIS space LE space PRINCE. The second one is 1ST space MOTION space PICTURE. The third one is ROUNDHAY space GARDEN space SCENE. The fourth one is OAKWOOD space GRANGE. The fifth one,
Leeds. And the sixth one is NORTHERN space ENGLAND. All right, that's as fair as I can get there with that one. I think I'm being really, really fair because I even take pauses and stuff. Not everybody will give you information like that. Usually I would say the norm es algo entre los dos. O sea, alguien que no va a 1000 por hora, pero tampoco te lo va diciendo así. So usually it's right, right in the middle there. That's why I make one super challenging and the other one, I expect you to get it, right? Because I'm doing it so you can get it, right? So if you're participating at home, great job. And also, let me take a minute. I have to do this from time to time. That is for all the listeners, the viewers who can't join us live. And you want to know what? That's the majority of you. So keep up the great work. Because I know you're there. We know you're there. And we appreciate you. And I say we because not just me. Your fellow students, Laura, Chris, Born to Iron Man, all of you. The other Laura Prados. We've got Elena. So many Anix. Okay, you guys. It's like I was talking about before with Vaughn Radio. Obviously, we can't put 100, 200 teachers on the air, right? We don't have enough airtime. The shows would be extremely short. Well, obviously, we can't have 500 people live at 10:30. Why? 10:30 is a difficult timetable. As you guys know, the show with no name doesn't necessarily have a good time slot, as you can imagine. At any radio, doesn't matter who's on the air, at work at around 10 a.m., that's normal. So you guys are the lucky ones, the ones who are able to be here with me, who I'm able to guide, to take by the hand. But don't forget, you represent every student who is listening. And I know you know that, but from time to time, I like to remind you guys, you're the ambassadors. You're the ones that they're looking up to when they listen to the show. In fact, I've seen it at the book fair when people have said, wait a second, you're Elena? Oh my God, oh my God. And it's almost like a reunion there. So keep being our ambassadors because you are inspiring many, many people you'll never even meet possibly because, well, this world is a big place. So keep up the great work, whether you're here live or whether you're here with us on the podcast or whether you're watching the YouTube video later, however you're listening, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to go to a quick commercial break. Can you believe it? It's crazy. All right, we'll be right back with the fourth and final part of today's show. So, say it with me, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. It is a pleasure to have you with us here today, amigos. Thank you. Thank you. Don't forget to stay tuned because up next you've got a master class with Jimena Holiday. Speaking of talented teachers, talented individuals, it's Jimena Holiday in Test Your English. After that, you've got the lunchtime show with Rob and Andy. And then, let's get random with Jules Linares. And then, you've got Speak Up with Ruby. You've also got the Salad with Dave Boys. Kyle Miller's Drive Time. Chris Frank and Frankly Speaking. You've got Richard Vaughn Live. And you can start your day with the Pro Bow Show with Rob Grams. And after that, you've got Fitz and his master class with No Excuses. If you haven't heard his program, you have no excuses. It's amazing. And it's right before this show. And what was the one that was on weekends? I can't really. Oh, it was the hour.
Guess who's back? Back again. Yes, he's back. Tell a friend. Yes, he's back. 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 That's right. The hour to empower with Jessica Fernandez is back on Vaughn Radio. Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is.
Triple, sorry.
Give it up.
Triple.
Trouble. I said triple trouble. Ha ha. Triple, double trouble. I said double trouble.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, triple trouble. All right, calm down, dude. It's not that crazy. Well, maybe. We'll find out in just a moment. You have to use the same word 3 times. Good luck. No quiero ser mezquino. Ruin. I've heard that before, but I didn't know the exact translation. Okay, mezquino, ruin. It says, yeah. Okay. It also, bueno, no voy a decir más. No quiero ser mezquino, ruin. Pero fue condenado por un delito menor, porque robó el dinero para gastos menores, el efectivo para gastos menores. En an office, you know, tienen como una cajita que si te vas, llévate el efectivo de aquí. It also says en América Latina, la caja chica. En Bolivia o Colombia, la caja menor. Interesting. We call it, son fondos que tienen reservados en una empresa, normalmente, para tener efectivo a mano para gastos menores. No es que vas a contratar un nuevo software. Esto es, pues, he tenido que invitarle a un café, he cogido de, right? So, just to explain it, because I've never heard this word before in Spanish. No quiero ser mezquino, ruin. Okay, what's another way to say mezquino? Ahora me he quedado con mezquino. Lo he puesto mal. Mezquino. Okay, yeah. Ruin, avaro. Yeah. Okay, you're not somebody who's thinking about the big picture. El gran panorama, vamos a decir, okay? So, no quiero ser mezquino, ruin, pero él fue condenado por un delito menor. No es robó efectivo para gastos menores. Dinero para gastos menores. That is your triple trouble. We'll see if somebody can figure it out. Also, we need to listen to our historic Say What soundbite. This is the fourth and final listen, amigos.
We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes. We should take nothing for granted.
¿Quieres estar al tanto de todas nuestras promociones en la Vaughan Esfera? Well, now you can be in the loop. Puedes estar al tanto. Puedes enterarte de ofertas, novedades y eventos. Y mucho más. Puedes encontrar todo eso en grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. Eso es, en grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. Ahí tendrás toda la información de última hora. Guárdalo como favorito. grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. And stay in the loop.
That's right, amigos. grupovon.com/cursos destacados. All right, so we've got our triple trouble. We've got our Say What soundbite out of the way. Let's see, Laura's taking a stab at it. And she says, let's see, I don't mean to be petty. Muy bien, hasta ahora bien. Excuse me. Petty means you're concerned about little things, really, right? Things that's like, what? Really? Come on. That's not something worth arguing or fighting over. So I don't mean to be petty, but he was sentenced for a petty crime as he stole from the petty cash. Yes! Wow. So I don't mean to be petty. Yeah, if you're petty, you're thinking about things that are not important. De hecho, la palabra petty es insignificante, baladí, right? It means you're lost in the wrong details, right? If you're being petty, right? It's not serious. It's not looking at the big picture. It's right. So you're being petty. Many of you might know the singer, and I won't back down. I'm gonna stand my ground. Tom Petty. I won't back. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. I won't back down. No voy a cambiar de opinión. No voy a echarme para atrás. I won't. Great song. Tom Petty. His music is not petty. It's a good way to remember it. Su música tiene sustancia. If you listen to the lyrics, beautiful. He's a great songwriter. He was a great songwriter. So it's a good way to remember. La música de Tom Petty no es baladí, no es, o sea, es profunda. It's good music. Maybe it'll help you, right? So, excellent. She says, I don't mean to be petty, but he was sentenced for petty crime. So to be sentenced for, sentenciado, you say the same thing. A ver, ¿qué he puesto yo? I don't mean to be petty, but he was convicted of. Otra forma de decirlo. So he was sentenced or he was convicted of. A lot of times we say to be convicted of a crime. Bueno, para saber otra forma, the conviction, se usa la palabra conviction. He's a convict, ¿no? La persona es a convict. So un poco para jugar con esa palabra también si no la conocías. But he was convicted of a petty crime. Petty, un delito menor. He stole the petty cash. And the petty cash es esa cajeta para dinero. En los tres significa insignificante, trivial, que no es para, right? So if you think about it, all three of those words, el crimen, el delito, no es tan serio, right? Él es mezquino, es una persona tan seria, ¿no? Evidentemente. Y el dinero no es para gastos serios, es para gastos más pequeños, más insignificantes. So did you know that? Any Tom Petty fans? Did you know what his last name meant? I love Tom. You can learn a lot from his lyrics too. So let me get to the point. Let's roll another joint, and I'm alone to be. No, he goes, I'm too alone. I can't remember the lyrics, but it's let's get to the point. Vayamos al grano. Bueno, ahí, let's roll another joint. Liamos otro porro. Hey, he was born in the 60s. That's what they did. It was normal for them. It was like smoking a cigarette, right? So excellent job. Excellent, Laura. Chris is taking a stab at it. Chris says, I don't mean to be mean, but he was convicted because he stole the... Bueno, me encanta el mean to be mean. No quiero ser mezquino. I don't mean to be mean. I don't mean to be petty. Great words. Excellent effort. Laura says, Tom Petty wasn't petty at all. Es que es perfecto, porque él es el inverso. Mucho Justin Bieber, petty. The music is baby, 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 ooh, baby, 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 ooh. And what about she was a good girl, loved her mama, loved Elvis, and America too. Now I'm free. Oh, he's man. Anybody feel like listening to Tom Petty now? So his lyrics are not petty. His music is not petty at all. It's a great way. See, Laura, you just reinforced it there as well. But Chris, I love that you tried it with the word mean. In fact, you want me to tell you a little secret? Today, I'm recording, after this show, I'm recording the FY episode on mean. You know what I mean? So, were you reading my mind there? Porque acabo de verlo también, el guión. Mean, okay, just looking at what I had to do later on. So, Chris, and it's not the next episode. I'm many episodes ahead of the game. He cogido un poco de carrera este verano. But, Chris, it's pretty creepy. You've been reading my mind a lot lately. It's a danger. I'm just warning you. You've been warned. It's a dangerous place up there. Not dangerous, but can get twisted. All right, let's take a look at our spelling bee. Now, the reason I chose these names, these things, was because today in the year 1888, Louis Le Prince, well, he's British, Louis Le Prince, filmed the first motion picture. It was called Roundhay Garden Scene. That was the name of it. So number one is Louis Le Prince. That's the guy who filmed it. Number two was first motion picture. Acuérdate, first, 1ST. Second, 2ND. Los que más se usan son esas, ¿no? Los demás son TH. Bueno, no. Espera. Vamos a repasar porque no quiero... aquí hay errores. So, 1ST, first. 2ND, second. 3RD, third, right? O sea, cambia las dos letras en cada uno de 1, 2, 3. First, ST, second, third. Fourth, ya empieza el TH. Fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. Hasta que lleguemos a el 21. ¿Por qué? Porque no es 21th. ¿Cómo es? 21 ST. It's his 21st birthday. O sea, el ST es todas las veces que es uno, no solo la primera. So it's his 22nd. He oído un alumno decirme 22th. 20 dientes. So el número, el 22º es 22ND. El 33º would be 33RD. So acuérdate eso porque es un matiz. And I've seen a lot of people, bueno, le pongo un TH. No a todos. Okay. So first motion picture. Number 3, Roundhay Garden Scene is what it was called. Number 4, Oakwood Grange. That's where it was filmed. Oakwood, the place. Grange, ¿te suena? Granja. What? Yeah, te copiamos en todo. And it was filmed in Leeds. That is located, ubicado in Leeds, Northern England. So those were your 6 words. Excellent job, amigos. All right, here we go, folks. You know what time it is. We're going to the movies. Name that movie. Yes. All right, here we go, my amigos. Here we go. This is an easy one. Everyone, not just Chris Valrol, everyone should know this one. 3 parapsychologists forced out of their university funding set up shop as a unique ghost removal service in New York City, attracting frightened yet skeptical customers. ¿Cómo resumes un peliculón con 2 frases? It's like, se queda corto, ¿no? So 3, you want me to give you a clue? All right, come on. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. All right. I know you know Halloween's coming up, and we got to see that movie in Halloween. I could watch that movie any day of the year, especially the first one. So 3 parapsychologists forced out of their university, which is Columbia University, if you've seen the movie, in New York City. And they're forced out of their university funding, financiación, fondos, funding, right? And they set up shop, apúntate esta, y no es con the, es frase hecha, montar el chiringuito, okay? It's how you would say, montar el chiringo. They set up shop as a unique ghost removal. Now, remove no es remover. Remove is quitar. Remover is to stir. It's a false friend. A unique ghost removal service in New York City, attracting, also we can say drawing, es otra forma de decir atraer, frightened, hicimos la palabra scared, pues another way of saying it, frightened yet skeptical customers. And ladies and gentlemen, the ladies have got it. Chris and Laura. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Doble negación. I ain't afraid of no. Sería any. Oh, Dios mío. Don't learn English from him. But what a song, huh? You have dosed a freaky ghost, baby. You better call. Más te vale. You'd better call. Podemos aprender de todas las canciones. It's up to you to open that third eye and say, I'm going to listen, not just with my ears, but I'm going to listen completely to this song until I learn the structures therein, the vocabulary. So yes, it's Ghostbusters. Busters es como cazador. No es tanto cazador. So smoking busters, los que quieren frenar algo, right? To bust something es pararlo, frenarlo. So la traducción, sí, no es para fantasmas en vez de caza. Well, you know, but of course, they always do that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Chris says, I even have, right? Tengo, yo, primera persona, a hoodie with the beautiful ghost. Which ghost? Slimer. Hey, we were talking about boogers and snot. Slimer, viscose. I didn't do it on purpose, I promise. Oh, cool. Hoodie. Oh, I had. Okay. You want me to read your mind? I'm not good at that, Chris. You might be able to read mine, but I can't read yours yet. I'm working on it. So I had a hoodie. Oh, the reason I say have is, how could you get rid of something like that? I would keep it forever and ever and ever and ever. So yes, this is Ghostbusters. And here's the scene. Dr. Peter Venkman says, the city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportions. Headed. It's headed for, va dirección a, no? Va camino a. The city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportions. And the mayor, el alcalde, says, what do you mean biblical? And Raymond Stantz says, what he means is Old Testament, Mr. Mayor, real wrath of God type stuff. La ira de Dios, the wrath of God. W-R-A-T-H. Lo verás en las uvas de la iria, you say? Or what do you call the grapes of wrath. O sea, la palabra wrath. También the wrath of Khan, Star Trek. O sea, wrath es una palabra. You'll feel my wrath, me. No, ¿cómo era la palabra? I think I said it right. All right. No es la primera vez que lo veo en español. Ira. Yeah, that's it. The wrath of God. So he says, real wrath of God type stuff. And Venkman says, exactly. And then Raymond Stan says, fire and brimstone. This is when we talk about brimstone, it's azufre. Okay. So a lot of times in the Bible, they mention fire and brimstone. Pues azufre, brimstone. Okay. And then he says, fire and brimstone coming down from the skies, de los cielos, right? Rivers and seas boiling, hirviéndose. 40 years of darkness, oscuridad, tinieblas. Earthquakes, volcanoes, the dead rising from the grave. Whoa. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. And then the mayor says, all right, I get the point. O sea que nunca fallan esas risas ahí también. Okay, he captado, entendido. So there it is, folks. Ghostbusters. If you haven't seen it in English, have you really seen it? All right, amigos, let's check out our famous birthday trivia.
Birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Oi, oi, oi. Birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's famous birthdays. Number one, she was born today in 1963. Her last name means mezquino, baladí, insignificante. Really? Yeah, the word we looked at in our triple trouble. It's her last name too, not just Tom. So she is an actress. She was born today in 1963. Her debut was Cadillac Man in 1990. I remember that comedy. She was also in Point Break, Le Llaman Body. I don't even want to talk about that translation. A League of Their Own. Ellas juegan también. It's about girls playing baseball. Free Willy. Esa la tradujisteis igual, ¿no? Free Willy. In the Army Now, The Glass Shield, and she played the title role in Tank Girl. Great movie, by the way. Tank Girl. Did you say La Chica Tanque? Seguro que no. Well, she was in Tank Girl. She's also in Orange is the New Black. And, well, she's obviously been in the business for a long time. Speaking of being in the business for a long time, this British actor and comedian and producer is awesome. He's a fast talker, and I love this guy. I think every time I see him, he makes me laugh, or he gets a reaction from me, this guy. He was in 24-Hour Party People, Night at the Museum, Tropic Thunder, Greed, Irreplaceable You, The Trip to Spain, The Trip to Greece, The Trip to Italy. Oh, wait, I guess that's... So, yeah, the guy, and he's won awards as well for his acting. And last but not least, this former American president was the 34th president of the United States. His nickname was Ike. De hecho, the pins they had were I like Ike. All right, we don't have time, so I'm going to have to give them to you. Number one is Lori Petty. Number two, Steve Coogan. And number three, Dwight D. Eisenhower. And that's going to bring us to our Say What soundbite. This is Eisenhower addressing the nation, telling them there are people who we can't let them get power or it's all done. And he was warning people. And he says, we must guard, proteger, no, contra. We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence. Unwarranted es nadie lo ha pedido, no? Whether sought or unsought, buscado o no buscado, by the military-industrial complex. He coined the term there. Ahora se llama the military-industrial media complex. Porque, sabes, sin su voz, sin su altavoz, they can't justify wars, right? So he says the potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. How right he was. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger, poner en peligro, our liberties or democratic processes. We should take nothing for granted. No dar nada por sentado.
We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes. We should take nothing for granted.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. We'll be back tomorrow with more. Ciao.